She broke in through my window at 2 a.m. and got stuck. Halfway in, halfway out, like some suburban vampire who forgot how physics worked. By the time the cops showed up, she was screaming, bleeding, and caught with stolen documents in her hand. And that was just the beginning. When I first moved into Cypress Hollow, I wasn't looking for drama. After 20 years working with defense contractors and losing my wife to cancer, I just wanted silence. A small, crooked two-story at the edge of a cul-de-sac seemed like a fine place to disappear. No HOA, no nosy neighbors, or so I thought. Turns out, one of them didn't get the memo. Deborah Mallory, 60-something, all beige cardigans and tight-lipped smiles. Her house looked like it came with a user manual. Front yard trimmed like a golf course. Porcelain angels on the porch watching like sentries. She showed up 3 days after I moved in with an apple pie and the kind of smile that looks like it hurts. I tried to be polite. Took the pie, said thanks, and started closing the door. She jammed her foot in the frame. "You might want to take a look at your lawn," she said, that Stepford tone already seeping through. "This community values presentation." That was the first red flag. The weeks after that, she became a fixture. Brought over casseroles I didn't ask for. Gave advice I didn't want. Commented on the tools in my garage, my curtains, my trash bins. And then one day she asked, dead serious, "Why do you have a biometric safe in your office?" I never told anyone about that safe, never opened it with the blinds up, except maybe once. That's when things got weird. Tools moved, paper shuffled. My favorite mug showed up in the sink when I was sure I left it on my desk. I tried to dismiss it. Maybe I was tired, maybe grief was playing tricks. Still, I put up cameras, outside only. Cheap, motion sensor junk. Didn't matter. Deborah never showed on them. Just kept showing up with that creepy Pleasantville vibe. Until one day, I was replacing a sprinkler in my yard, and she walked up. No hello, no nothing. And said, "You've got some serious wiring in that garage." Military, maybe? I just stared at her. "Just tinkering," I muttered. She smiled like a shark. "Well, don't blow anything up. We like our peace here." That night, I didn't sleep. Every creak felt like a footstep, so I upgraded real security. Heat sensors by entry points. Pressure pads under rugs. Auto-locking windows that clamp shut from the inside if lifted wrong. All offline. All quiet. Then came the real punch. I came home late one night, walked into my study, and the window was open. Just a few inches. But enough. And my flash drive? Gone. Not just any drive. This one had early-stage encryption schematics for a new defense prototype. Proprietary tech. If it leaked, I was done. I went to the cops, told them everything. They asked if there was forced entry. I said no. They shrugged, said it wasn't technically a break-in. I left furious. And then the HOA letter showed up. Only problem? I wasn't in an HOA. I made sure of it when I bought the place. But here was this envelope, citing me for safety violations, warning of fines, inspections, community disruption. I called the number. Some woman named Cindy told me my address had been added to their extended review list. Wouldn't tell me who filed the complaint. I didn't need a name. I already knew. Next day, my contractor's security office called. The missing drive had triggered an internal review. "Not saying you're under investigation," they said. But that's exactly what they meant. I'd had enough. That night, I rewired the study window, modified the latch, made it sensitive, reactive, Impossible to force open without getting caught. I left a decoy flash drive in plain sight. Around 2:10 a.m. I heard a scream, not from a movie or TV. No, this one was real. Ragged, raw. I grabbed a flashlight and a crowbar and crept down the hallway. Nothing in the living room, nothing in the kitchen. But when I hit the study, there she was, Deborah. Bent halfway through the window, face red, gasping, one arm in, one leg twitching outside. The frame had clamped down around her ribs. Her hand, clutching the decoy drive. "Thomas," she gasped, "help me, I was just—" "Doing your best Dracula impression?" I asked. She begged. I called 911. When I told the dispatcher, my neighbor tried to break in and got herself stuck. I could hear her typing real fast. Cops and medics arrived 10 minutes later. Whole neighborhood lit up. Phones out, people watching. She was still sobbing when they came in, shrieking about how she thought she saw smoke. EMTs took one look at the window and said, "Ma'am, this isn't a window you get stuck in accidentally." One officer asked if I had footage. I did. We watched together as the infrared feed showed Deborah creeping across my yard in all black, low to the ground, pry bar in hand. She reached the window, jimmied it, and snap. The trap closed. "Ma'am," the officer said, "you have the right to remain silent." She collapsed into the room when they released the latch. Bruised, bleeding, pathetic. They found the original flash drive in her pocket. And somehow worse, stolen documents from my filing cabinet. But it wasn't over. The next day, they searched her home, found a hidden room behind her laundry wall, coded entry, and inside, boxes, dozens, labeled by neighbor names, mine included. Photos, forged HOA letters, driver's license copies, even one shot of me inside my garage taken through a crack in the blinds. Turns out, Deborah had been running her own little kingdom, gathering dirt on everyone, submitting fake complaints, pushing people out she didn't like. This wasn't just about me. The FBI got involved. During the trial, one of my neighbors, Ben, came forward. Said his wife had been harassed into selling their second car. Another neighbor, targeted with falsified noise complaints. Deborah had used fake HOA authority to ruin lives. And here's the kicker. They traced her archive to 2 other neighborhoods. Similar setups. Another woman arrested. Fake HOAs. Real power. This wasn't Karen with a clipboard. This was systemic. The courtroom was packed. Reporters, neighbors. One guy wore a T-shirt that said "Window Justice." When the verdict dropped, the gavel echoed like a shotgun. Deborah Mallory, guilty. 9 years. 2 fake HOA officers, banned from ever serving again. I got my clearance reinstated. My name cleared. $150 in damages. But it wasn't the money. It was the silence when I finally locked my front door and knew no one was watching anymore. And the best part? I mounted a steel grill over that study window. Welded, bolted, engraved. One line. Nice and clean. This is not a Karen hostel. So, who was really in control all along?